No.
Oh.
Well.
He thinks maybe it was that he took it outside to play last night. And that, like, the changin got freezing. So he thought maybe that was it.
What did you show us?
My dad plays the sax. Yeah, he played the clarinet and the sax. Very well. Well, he sang too, but yeah. But when it came time for junior high, I wanted to join the band. Play a saxophone and a saxophone. My dad's sax. My parents were like,
I guess this is the
clarinet is the closest box to the sax, because like it's the same harsher, the same
He
periods.
asked me a question and I
You
put
know,
it down.
they were like,
But I told you.
I didn't put the pages on.
I was sick this week.
Yeah.
And find out.
because like it might have been harder if I started out on the sax to transfer to the clarinet.
So you guys should definitely not.
Yeah, passion plays into us so much. Semi-professionally.
They face is actually one of their.
When he was first trained, and then probably to
You're welcome.
No, you didn't.
figure out. But
Do I have one? I'm doing a story. Oh, bottle wheel.
totally the same thing, right?
I nothing. It just like
What kind of dance?
Um,
They say right
oh
now.
no, it was in South Africa.
and I
Oh,
never
you're from South Africa? Yeah.
I don't that somebody literally pushed me to a wall. Literally big.
Who was it? Tristan? I know that. You tell Tristan, Steve says knock it off.
Kind of like Six Flags on the loose.
Oh, Tristan. No.
It's outside.
Yeah,
It's
no.
in Farmington.
Dude, everyone knows it.
Oh, okay.
Everyone. All of your friends. They're all
Okay,
knows it.
which university?
University.
Okay. You sure about that? Okay.
But it was,
And you don't know where?
No, you shouldn't trust anything.
the grid helps. Oh my gosh, they were more.
Except for the coffee.
Yeah, the grid was very nice.
And huge for Joseph Smith's weddings.
Is that what? That's right.
That was even without luck.
But I'm so grateful because these streets are very narrow and scary. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of St. Louis. My name is Steve Wilkie. I use the pronouns he, him, and his, and I am a worship committee member. I feel so much better than I did at the end of last week, which you probably didn't realize, but I was getting sick, and I went home, and I slept for 2 days. I'm doing much better now, which is good, but with an ironic twist. I'm still having an issue that anytime someone makes me laugh, I start coughing uncontrollably, and it's really painful. So I know you guys are used to me telling announcements that are actually funny, but I'm going to do my best to tell them with utter seriousness. Okay, clearly you don't believe me, but it's true. For my own health, I ask you, do your best not to laugh at these announcements. I will tell you that I did show these announcements to my 15-year-old, and in my 15-year-old daughter's typical way, she told me that there was nothing remotely funny about me, and I will definitely not make you laugh. Yeah, which I think was more commentary about me as opposed to the announcements. Teenager girls, they will keep you sane, right? And they will definitely keep you humble. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let's see. We are glad you could join us this Sunday, either in person or online. If you are a visitor or a newcomer, I'd like to extend a special welcome. And if you are new to our congregation, please let us know. There is a newcomer form found in the live stream description or in the lobby of the church. After service, join us downstairs for refreshments. We welcome families with children as they come wandering in. You are invited to connect with the RE committee after the service for more information about our programs for children and youth. If you're attending online, hi. You can connect with each other in the chat, and don't forget that the link for virtual coffee hour can be found in our weekly e-news. There are several important announcements this morning. Jazz Sunday has not been canceled. Oh, you guys know that, don't you? Okay. Remember, don't laugh. The Unfish Fry needs you. Friday, March 21st from 5:30 to 7, the Unfish 7, yeah, right. The Unfish Fry crew will be serving an all-vegetarian meal that will be open to the public, and we need your help. I don't have my other angsty teenager to tell you how wonderful it is, but teenagers love it, kids love it, everyone loves it. Anyone that comes, we will have a blast. We will put you to work. So anybody that can come, you should definitely do it. Being part of the Unfish Fry crew is a great way for new or long-term members to have fun getting to know people. Please sign up in Fellowship Hall or check your email with the link. Unfish Fry volunteers, there is a brief meeting for volunteers after service on March 16th at 11:45 in the Clark Room. Please come and discuss the plan for this year. All right. Oh, they are here. They're here, but shh. Aaron and Emily are going to give another announcement for Canvas during the service. Everyone last week did a really good job of the ooh and the ah at the appropriate times, but we don't have the choir this week, right? So this is going to be the real test. Please understand, even though they won't be incorporating like a money gun where they're going to shoot money out in the air, or they're going to have drones come up and have it spell, please give money. We won't have that. And again, my ideas are not helpful. We still need you guys to do the proper oohs and ahs. So everyone good doing that? Okay, now, shh, forget I said anything. Okay. Are you interested in participating in a moment of reflection and ritual? Do you want to engage in the spiritual practice that honors both our confusion and wisdom? Do you like smashing stuff? If you have answered yes to any of these questions, then you may want to join Reverend Sabrina in a ceremony to hallow these uncertain times. Sunday, March 23rd and April 6th, we will be conducting the Broken Whole Bowl ritual at 11:30 in the chapel. Sign up in Fellowship Hall. Please let us know if you need a ceramic pottery bowl, a napkin, or a hammer, or all three. Not having these items should not be an obstacle to participating. We are looking for volunteers to assist Mo in the tech booth on Sundays. It's super fun. He calls it the Chaos Closet. It's a blast. If you're interested in helping, please find Mo after the service or email him at mhurst@firstuustlewis.org. Your support is greatly appreciated. We are also looking for storytellers or just information givers for the Time for All Ages. I'm sure, as I'm looking at them, they are getting sick of me. So we're looking for more people to give stories and things that you are passionate about. Anyone that gets up and can be passionate can do the story of all ages. It's really fun and it's really a good time. It can be a quick activity, demonstration, something that is just geared to all the ages, not just to a specific group. Obviously, we have themes for services, so we have to find it within the theme of the service. But if you have an idea, let me know, and we can probably find a good place for you to do it. Lastly, an announcement just for children and youth. You two, get off your phones. Hi. After the story for all ages, which is going to be serious and not the least bit silly, because you're not going to make me laugh, right? Okay, you look like my 15-year-old daughter. That's really terrifying. Children will then go to their religious education classes. Now, please center yourself in preparation for worship.
Welcome to this religious community where we affirm the worth and dignity of all who enter. My name is Pamela Geppert, and I use the pronouns she, her, hers. I'm a member of the worship committee. Jazz Sunday has always been one of my favorite services. My father was a jazz musician, and although he took off early in my life, as jazz musicians do, my mother was a jazz lover till the day she died, and I too have been smitten. Jazz Sunday was all set for January with the theme of living love through the practice of story. Well, it's turned into Razzmatazz, and it's also now the practice of trust. The original service focused on the story of our annual orbit around the sun as seen through the seasons, but what is more basic to the practice of trust than to know that one day follows another, and we trust that the world will keep on turning, even when people, governments, and climate change. Today we gather in community, trusting that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, identity, and theology, even diverse in what genres of music speak to our souls. Our values invite us to a shared journey of truth and meaning, and together we foster a spirit of trust, of gratitude, of generosity, so that all may feel welcome and all can thrive. We are glad that you are with us this morning. Please enjoy our prelude, performed by Greg Holtzel on piano and Dwight Homer on saxophone. Nope, no Dwight Homer on saxophone. Okay.
was lovely. Good morning. I'm Sue Fazio, she, her, hers. I serve this congregation as your worship assistant. I invite you into worship with the words of Robert Washut, who is an accomplished jazz composer and arranger. He was emeritus professor of music at the University of Northern Iowa and served as director of jazz studies from 1980 to 2002. The first storytellers were the ancient cave dwellers who, using a visual medium, depicted the mystery of life and death on the walls of dark caves. As our linguistic traditions evolved, stories were eventually transmitted orally and gave birth to the myths and legends still residing in our souls. Throughout the ages, the story has been used as a vehicle to educate, entertain, inspire, motivate, transform, and elucidate. With roots in their respective folk traditions, jazz and storytelling share more than a few attributes. Where each storyteller possesses unique vocal characteristics and inflections, the jazz musician, too, speaks with an individual sound, striving to sing through the instrument. Jazz musicians, like storytellers, can express themselves in a very personal and direct manner. How will you express yourself through storytelling? How will you listen to another person's story? Now please rise as you are willing and able and join us in the opening hymn of the month, number 347, Gather the Spirit.
Witness the mystery of
Okay. Today's chalice lighting comes from the Reverend Scott Taylor. In the soft light of this flame, may our lives shimmer anew. May we notice new possibility in those relationships that seem lost. May the turning of the year give birth to a dream. May the emerging light pull a new story into view. May what is give way to what might be. May we believe again that there is a tale of the world still waiting to be written.
Testing, testing. Ha ha ha. Sweet. All right. Any kids want to come up for the story? It's going to be super serious about cats and dogs. Oh well. So when I grew up, basically I had cats I had dogs and I had friends who had cats, but I didn't know anybody who actually had cats and dogs. And there's this notion that like you're either a dog person or a cat person. So how many people here are dog people? Okay. Yeah, that's what I was growing up. How about cat people? Okay. Yeah. So I do now have 2 cats, and it's fascinating because the one cat just looks at me like I owe them money, and the other one is like actively plotting my murder, pretty much every time. But as long as I feed them, they just kind of go, "Cool, you can pet me for 5 seconds," and then tell me to go away. So it's a lot of fun. All right, so this story is called Jazz Dogs. Against the loud and powerful rock dogs, there was one dog who played differently. His music didn't sound like theirs, and he just couldn't find a place where he fitted in. Until one night, a place found him. The dog listened in awe as the beautiful sound of the jazz cats. He stayed all night long, then he made up his mind. "I want to learn your sound," he said to the cat, but the cat pointed to the sign. "Sorry, dog's out," he said, and he slammed the door shut. Still, the dog was hooked on cat jazz, which is just a fun word to say. Jazz. I'm laughing and I'm going to cough. He didn't care about the funny stares as he tapped his paws to the beat. And he ignored the shocked gas as he borrowed cat instruments and cat music. The dog practiced cat jazz all day and night, even though everyone laughed and said, "The dog should play rock." He knew in his heart, though, that his music was right. And he dreamed of cats and dogs playing together someday. One night, he saw a sign, a jazz contest at the theater. It was his time to shine. A dog at our cat contest, word soon got around. Now everybody went there, even the hounds. At the theater, the atmosphere was tense. For the first time ever, cats and dogs were there together. The dogs barked at the cats. "We don't like your cat jazz." Cat jazz. And the cats hissed back, "Well, you dogs should stick to rock." This is definitely written by a cat person. Can I just say that? As the dog finally took to the stage, he saw the most miserable sight. Cats hissing on the left, hiss, and dogs growling on the right. Thank you. Feeling small and afraid, the dog ran away. When a young cat, of course, jumped out and asked him to stay. "You have learned so much. Go show the crowd. Believe in your dream. Stand tall. Stand proud." The dog took a deep breath and returned to the stage. And as he started to play, the crowd went, "Whoa!" His music didn't sound like dog, and it didn't sound like cat. It was something else, something unique. The music was powerful, beautiful, and true. It was music deep down, and everyone knew. One by one, the cats and the dogs began to join in. Feeling brave and free, they played all their own sounds in sweet harmony. At the theater, the little dog's dream had come true. Together, the cats and dogs made music so magical that it changed the world. All right, so go off to classes.
Get to here. Well, you know what's coming. They're right there. But anyway, it's March, and it's time to take 5 for this Sunday's Canvas update from our co-chairs, Emily J. Cox and Aaron Milligan.
Ahoy! We're co-captains this year, where we've been co-chairs in the past. So, Emily, the more diligent, prudent of the co-chairs, has prepared us some notes for you this morning, and we have some good news to share. So, as of today, we have 3 weeks left in the month of March, 3 weeks left in the Canvas, and we have already raised 55% of our goal, which is $450,000 this year. Let's have a round of applause. And we want to remind you all that each week of this Canvas month we'll be doing a raffle drawing, and so next week we will be raffling off one of Cheryl Coulter's famous lemon cheesecakes. For those who are, I think next week is new pledges?
Anyone who increases their pledges by Friday of this week will be eligible for this amazing drawing for Cheryl's cheesecake. So if you've already auto-renewed your pledge but left it as the same amount as last year and you want to bump it up a little, you will be in the drawing for the cheesecake.
So Emily is going to talk just very briefly about a little bit of what pledging means in the event that it's unclear, but I will tell you that this week I changed my payment method. I had previously, in many years past, for many years, had a check automatically mailed from my bank every month. And this year I changed it so that it's an electronic transfer and it's just on a credit card. That, I learned from Lynn, is not my pledge. So remember when you're doing your pledge this year to make sure you fill out either your pledge card or do the actual pledge form online so we know what your pledge is. Instead of just changing your payment method or increasing your payment method through your financial institution.
Yeah, just to follow up, because there has been some confusion, the method, the timing, and the frequency of your pledging payment is entirely up to you. What we're looking for right now is the commitment amount, and that's something that either goes on one of these cute little forms, or can be done electronically. If you mislaid your pledge card and are ready to sign and pledge today to make sure you get in line for the drawing, there's plenty of these downstairs in Fellowship Hall. And while you're down there picking up your pledge card, please also enjoy one of our little compass-shaped soaps that we have as our theme gift for this year as we chart our course together into the future.
We're trying to have some good, clean fun this year with the campus. Also, Emily and I have an important announcement to make. Before we do the raffle drawing, we have decided that if we do reach our goal, it was suggested by someone, or maybe Steve, that your co-captains could prepare and perform a sailor dance. And so Emily and I, if we do reach our goal this year, we are announcing for the first time this morning that we will be performing a sailor dance to celebrate this good news.
So if you want to see us do a sailor dance, all pledge cards in by March 30th.
And now we have our drawing for this week's raffle item, which is a beautiful chalice that contains hand-poured wax made by Reverend Kim. So here's our basket. These are early pledges and renewing pledges. Would you like to make a drum roll on your lap? All right, I have one. The winner is Brian Deason. Is Brian Deason here today? No. Well,
He might be in the church office
he might
with
be in the
his son.
church office, so we will make sure that Brian gets his gift. Thank you all for everyone who donated this, or who made their pledge this past week.
Thank you.
Oh, and Lisa.
Let's introduce Lisa Richter. Lisa and her husband Bob joined First Unitarian in November of 2024. Lisa was a longtime member of Elliott Chapel, and they've kind of relocated a little bit to the city. So Lisa's going to share her affirmation with us this morning.
Good morning. As Aaron said, my name is Lisa Richter, and my husband Bob May and I signed the First Unitarian Universalist membership book last November. I'm speaking for myself today about why I joined and have made a pledge to support this church financially. There are 3 reasons why I joined First Unitarian Universalist Church. Number 1, to meet new people and become part of a wider community. While I'm a senior citizen with decades of various friendships, it's important to me to continue to meet new people, broaden my understanding of our community and the world, and learn new skills in support of the church and the community. Second reason is to help and serve others within and beyond our church, especially in the St. Louis area, for where we have lived since the 1970s, long time. To quote Reverend Kim, we offer compassion and hope to our community and to the larger world. And as we all know, we need lots of compassion and hope right now, and really all the time. The third reason why I joined First Unitarian Universalist is to find a place where I explore my beliefs, deepen my spirituality, to quote Reverend Kim again. Celebrating the inherent worth and dignity of every person is very important to me. I am reminded that my life is not just about me every time I attend worship services here or participate in a volunteer activity. As background to my story, this is the 3rd Unitarian Universalist church I've been part of. The first was Cedar Lane Unitarian Church in Bethesda, Maryland in the 1960s, where I learned all about liberal religious youth and became one, and we did all kinds of wonderful things there. And then the second Unitarian church, as Aaron said, was Elliott Chapel in Kirkwood from 1987 to 2000, where our 2 daughters attended Sunday school. I taught Sunday school. I was on the board. I've also been a member of several Protestant churches during my life, but not recently. Until last year, I've been unchurched, so since 2000. So this is a new step forward. I'm a member of the Social Justice and Membership Committees. I hope to make contributions to the work of those committees and meet more of you as well as others on those committees. Thank you for welcoming me and Bob to this community. And I want to say, I think you all are very welcoming, which I was really happy about, because in my traversing many Unitarian churches, I know, or any church, that that's not necessarily the case. So thank you for being here at the end of Waterman, where we live on the other end.
Thank you, Lisa. In our opening hymn, we sang, winter to spring and summer to fall, a chorus, the chorus of life resounding as one. We start with winter. Winter is the season that encompasses the end of one calendar year and the beginning of another. It's a liminal space, a time between what was and what will be. It's little wonder that it's a time for contemplating our lives and making resolutions. Maybe a resolution about putting love at the center of our UU values. The Glory of Love is a song that was written by Billy Hill and recorded in 1936 by Benny Goodman. Goodman's version was a #1 pop hit. Alice Montgomery and Greg Holtzel are here to tell you all about it.
I want to speak a little bit about the music this morning. It's presented by members of the choir and inspired by members of the choir. You wouldn't know it because we're out of uniform this morning.
Thank you, Alice and Greg. Wow, so inspiring this morning. Okay. Thank you. Is it ready? Okay. When we are present with each other's joys and concerns, we affirm with each other's humanity. Being seen and accepted in moments of struggle and celebration is how we build community. Now is the time in our service when we connect with one another by sharing our sorrows and our concerns. Okay. Susan Ingram Knoll is currently at Bethesda Dilworth Rehab. Cards are welcome. Concern for a dear friend who has a recurrence of cancer that has been in remittance. Sorry. A sister who is struggling with viral bronchitis. I am praying, someone is praying for a peaceful resolution for my family that is very fractured. Concern for a sister, her wife, and their 2 daughters who live and work in the DC area. We hold these concerns with tenderness and compassion. May they be lighter because they are shared. As a community, we also share our joys and celebrations. A grandchild's 9th birthday celebration this Sunday afternoon. The joy of cooking. Enjoying the music of Razzmatazz. The Missouri Botanic Gardens as a place of renewal and beauty. For Mo and the wonderful AV volunteers that keep services online. Yay, for sure. We lift up these joys with gladness and celebration. May they be magnified because they are shared. With many joys and concerns remaining unspoken in our hearts and minds, please join me in a spirit of prayer and mindful attention with these words. Spirit of life and love, holy within and among us, ours is a sharing community where our joys are amplified, a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. We take this moment to reflect on our joys and sorrows and acknowledge the mutual support of our community. May we remember those who have shared, those they have named, and those we hold in silence in our hearts. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
Spring forward, the time it is a changin'. At 2 a.m. this morning, our clocks moved forward 1 hour into daylight savings time. Some of them did, some of them didn't. It will soon be spring, and there's no end of songs that sing of spring and love. But what happens when trust is broken and spring doesn't fulfill those dreams of love? The next song has a St. Louis connection. This popular jazz standard was written in 1955 by Fran Landesman with music by Tommy Wolfe. According to the State Historical Society's Missouri Encyclopedia, I had to get a reference book in, you know that, folks. Fran Landesman launched her career as a jazz lyricist in St. Louis in the 1950s. A native New Yorker, she married St. Louisan Jay Landesman in 1950, and a year later they moved to St. Louis, where they poured their energy into the Crystal Palace, a nightclub and theater featuring brass and crystal chandeliers and hip entertainment by jazz and folk musicians, eventually located in Gaslight Square. The Landesmans hired Tommy Wolfe, a World War II veteran, as the resident pianist. His fans were jazz aficionados who used words like pad for apartment and hung up for emotionally confused. Fran approached him with a question about T.S. Eliot's poem, The Wasteland, which begins with the words, "April is the cruelest month." She asked him, how would he say the same thing in beatnik language? When he had no answer, she said jokingly, "Spring can really hang you up the most." Fran's little joke became the title of a song and the beginning of a decade of musical collaboration with Wolfe. Here are Becca McBride on vocals and Greg Holtzel on piano.
Once I was a sentimental thing, threw my heart away each spring, but now a spring romance hasn't got a chance. Promised my first dance to winter, and all I've got to show's a splinter for my little fling. Spring this year has got me feeling like a horse that never left the post. I lie in my room, staring up at the ceiling. Spring can really hang you up the most. Morning's kiss wakes trees and flowers, and to them I'd like to sing a toast. I walk in the park just to kill lonely hours. Spring can really hang you up the most. be chronic. Spring can really hang you up the most. I'm all alone. The party is over. Old man Winter was a gracious host. But when you pull over for snow to hide the clover, spring can really hang you up the most. Spring can really hang you up the most.
Wow, how fun today. The First Unitarian Church of St. Louis strives to be a welcoming congregation, inspiring lives of loving kindness and integrity by nurturing spirituality, building community, and advancing justice. Your contribution supports the mission and ministry of this congregation in the St. Louis region and beyond. This morning's offerings will now be received.
When looking for a song about summer, the song Summertime from the folk opera Porgy and Bess is usually one of the top 3 that comes to mind. This information that I'm giving you right now, comes from the African American Registry, 501 nonprofit, comprehensive online database resource of African American heritage, and jazzstandards.com website. In 1934, Summertime was the first of the Porgy and Bess songs that Gershwin completed. It was based on a DuBose Hayward poem called Summertime. Now, Eugene DuBose Hayward was a white American writer and playwright. He wrote children's stories, fiction and short stories during the 20s and the 30s that focused on the lives of the blacks living on the waterfront of Charleston, South Carolina. Hayward was fascinated with the Gullah language of black culture. As a personal aside, I learned of DuBose Hayward through the book The Country Bunny and the Little Gold Shoes. I read it to the first graders every year around Easter when I was the librarian at Griffith Elementary School. For a book written in the 30s, it challenged the ideas that worth is based on color, gender, stature, or traditional roles. It echoed themes from Porgy and Bess, the book and lyrics of which were written by DuBose, his wife Dorothy, and Ira Gershwin. Though Summertime was intended as an operatic number, it was quickly embraced by jazz singers. This morning, Mindy Allen, Dwight Homer, yes, Dwight Homer? Okay, this time? Okay, and Greg Holzer shared their interpretation of this beloved jazz standard.
Sleep. My mama used to sing this to me when she used to sing me to sleep.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Well, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings
Thank you. That was just so inspiring. Words by Lindsay Kingston Harrison, written for the launch of the LGBTQ+ Unitarian Voices exhibition in 2023. As we leave here today, we give thanks for the many stories of our lives and for all of those who hold us gently while we tell them. We leave grateful for the listeners, for those who sit quietly and give us the gift of a version of ourselves born in a moment of tender grace. And we leave grateful for the storytellers who, with courage and love, give us the gift of their true selves. Thank you for all of your gifts this morning.
Oh, it's a long, long time from May to December, but the days grow short when you reach September. I came across a blog called In Our Grandmother's Kitchens by Tinky Weisblatt. She's a writer, a singer, and historian, and a commentator for New England Public Media. She writes, September song always comes into my mind and out of my vocal cords at this time of year. I sang it in the shower this morning and thought about the ways which Kurt Weill's music in this popular standard captures the emotions of early autumn. What works best about September song is the tempo. As Maxwell Anderson's lyrics in the song's 2 verses remind us, September is the time of year and the time in our life, if we buy into the song's metaphor of the calendar year as a stand-in for a person's lifespan, at which the pace starts picking up and human existence becomes particularly precious. The song's singer-narrator is an older man recalling the days of his youth, days in which he waited patiently for love and life's treasures to come his way. In September, he explains, we haven't got time for the waiting game. Winter lurks right behind autumn. Death follows middle age. In contrast to this gather ye rosebuds mentality, Kurt Weill's melody embraces and enhances the shortening days by belying the lyrics and taking its time. The song moves at a pace that seems lazy, but is instead deliberate. Its mode is entirely conversational. In fact, it was premiered in 1938 by Walter Houston, a non-singer who talked his way through the piece. There simply isn't any way to rush around through this music. The joy of September Song for both the singer and an audience is its suspension of time. For the time it takes to sing the song, the old man character slows down the motions of the earth and heavens and makes a few moments in September seem to last forever. Tom Finan and Greg Holtzel perform September Song.
When I was a young man courting the girls, I played me a waiting game. If a maid refused me with tossing curves, I let the old earth pick a couple of words. Sooner or later she came my way. Sooner or later she came. Oh, it's a long, long while, May to December, but the days grow short when you reach September. The autumn weather turns leaves to flame. One hasn't got time for the waiting game. Precious days I'll spend with
Ah, the nimbleness of youth. Now, the order of service says that there's a reflection here, but upon reflection, I've used most of my reflections time on the intros to the 4 seasonal jazz standards, so I'll say this instead. I came upon an eflux.com project with the provocative title and graphic, "You Can't Trust Music." Well, it's based on this influential essay, Experiments in Civility, by Bill Dietz and Gavin Steingo. By drawing on psychoanalytic and anthropological theory, they begin to outline the contours of an experimental music practice that affirms music's fundamental ambiguity and radical nonpartisanship. The quote, "It would seem that in many circles, music has a bad reputation. You can't trust music. One minute, a piece of music is proclaiming the heights of Western civilization. The next minute, the same piece is the soundtrack to genocide. Music is unfaithful, a slippery character. Or is it the other way around? Is it we who are slippery? Is it who or what we are in music? Who or what music lets us become?" Ambiguity, radical nonpartisanship. Music is not innocent. Music may be as much connected with dissonance and violence as it is with peace and social harmony. Even so, songs do have the power to change the world in unexpected ways, challenging preconceived notions and shedding light on issues that have historically been ignored. Let's not just trust music, let's trust ourselves. Please join me in our closing hymn, number 163, "For the Earth Forever Turning."
You may be seated. Our closing words are from the New Jerusalem Bible, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 through 11. There is a season for everything, a time for occupation under heaven, a time for giving birth, a time for dying, a time for planting, a time for uprooting what has been planted, a time for killing, a time for healing, a time for knocking down, a time for building, a time for tears, a time for laughter, a time for mourning, a time for dancing, a time for throwing away stones, a time for gathering them, a time for embracing, a time to refrain from embracing, a time for searching, a time for losing, a time for keeping, a time for discarding, a time for tearing, a time for sowing, a time for keeping silent, a time for speaking, a time for loving, a time for hating, a time for war, a time for peace. What do people gain from the efforts they make? I contemplate the task that God gives humanity to labor at. All that he does is apt for its time, but although he has given us an awareness of the passage of time, we can grasp neither the beginning nor the end of what God does. Amen, blessed be, and go in peace.
Today's postlude is interactive. Please, as you are willing and able, join the Razzmatazz crew in singing Pete Seeger's take on Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8, Turn, Turn, Turn. The words will be on the screen and on the online order of service, and then as your final act of worship, please turn, 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 and greet your neighbor.